Hey everybody, this is Ed from the Whiskey Tangent Podcast here with another Whiskey Short, and joining me as always is Scott.
Hey everybody.
We have one that I'm very excited about, a very, very special whiskey.
Yes.
We've heard a lot about it, and we're going to find out, is it as special as they say?
That's right. So today we are doing the William Larue Weller QuickTaste. Whiskey Short. So we've actually tasted a bunch of Wellers on the podcast. We did Special Reserve in season 4, which was October of 2020, which was an on-air surprise for my birthday. So we didn't really do any research at that time. Then when we did the Quick Taste on the Antique 107 in season 5, which is April of 21, I compiled a fairly comprehensive history of William Larue Weller, the man. So please go back and listen to that if you want the full story about him. And then in season 10, October of 2023, just last year, we did a Quick Taste of the Weller 12 year, in which we talked about why all the Wellers are so damn expensive, and Ed told his fun story about how he acquired a bottle.
Yes.
But we've never talked about this particular expression, so I'm going to do 2 paragraphs on what this whiskey is, and then Ed will recap, if you heard the news 2 weeks ago,
yes,
how we got our hands on some. So here we go. As part of Buffalo Trace's annual antique collection, the William Larue Weller Bourbon 2023 version joined 4 other elite expressions from the distillery. The Thomas H. Handy, a 7-year rye, the George T. Stagg, a 15-year bourbon, the Eagle Rare 17-year bourbon, and the 18-year Sazerac rye. The collection is released every November, and every year's expressions are slightly different in taste profile from the year before. However, this was not always the lineup. When the collection first began in 2000, there were just 3 expressions: the Eagle Rare 17, the Sazerac 18, and a 19-year-old W.L. Weller bourbon. In 2001, they added the George T. Stagg. In 2003, the Weller 19 got dropped. In 2005, a new full-named William Larue Weller bourbon was added. And in 2006, they introduced the Thomas H. Handy, finally settling on the 5 expressions that continue to this day.
Nice. And I've had all of them.
Yeah.
I had the Eagle Rare 17 in Portland.
Yeah.
That's the only one you haven't had.
That's right. I'm only missing that one.
And the William Larue we're about to have now.
Right.
So when I got the Special Reserve Weller for Scott on his birthday, I want to point out that at that time period, there was just no Weller in New Jersey. So I know for those people out in the world that the Special Reserve Weller is not special at all, to be honest. It's just really a very easy drinking bottle that if you can find it for 45 or 50, hey, enjoy it.
Right. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not a world beater.
But for us, we've been searching for any Weller for so long that was like, oh, I found a Weller, and it was a big deal. So don't think that today, if you gave me a Special Weller, I'd be like, oh my God, thank you. I mean, anybody who wants to give me whiskey, and by the way, if Buffalo Trace would like to send us any of their antique collection, we would be happy to profile for you with much love.
Absolutely.
And I think we've been pretty fair to the Buffalo Trace products. Yeah. Our only criticism of Buffalo Trace over the years is that we don't have as much of their product as we'd like to have. And I don't think that that's really a negative from a consumer fan like we are.
Right. They're trying. They did ramp up their production.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yes, they are trying.
Yeah.
Of the ones you mentioned and the ones I've had, in my experience, not having the Weller up to this point, I would say that the George T. Stagg was my favorite.
Yeah. The Handy was pretty good.
They're all pretty good. The Eagle Rare 17 was really good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But as far as one that really knocked my socks off, I'm going to say it was the George T. Stagg. But I'm excited to try this. And,
yeah, so remind the folks
so,
how we got it.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the whole point of me. I wonder why Scott hasn't done this paragraph yet. Right. So it was nice that we were invited up to the Global Whisky Challenge up in Manhattan a few weeks ago. And we got to observe the judges at work and watch the top 4 get voted on. And then we got to have lunch with the judges and talk about their backgrounds and how they approach it. And if you want to know all about that, go back and listen to the news that came out a few weeks ago where we go into detail of our trip.
Yeah.
But they were flying back to Colorado, and so they couldn't take all of the whiskey with them. And so they left some very nice bottles with us. And this bottle had about 4 ounces in it, enough for us to each get a nice 2-ounce pour right here.
Yep.
And told them that if they gave us this bottle, we would do exactly what we're doing right now, do a quick taste and mention them once again. So we'd like to thank Christopher Davies and the Global Whisky Challenge and all the judges for having a great time with us and also leaving us some tremendously choice whiskeys.
Yes, exactly.
And we have another one that's going to make an appearance at some point.
We have a couple more that will make appearances for the rest of the summer.
Yes, yes.
So the stats of this is a Kentucky straight wheated bourbon. The proof is 133.6, which is 66.8 ABV. The mash bill is not disclosed, but it is Buffalo Trace's wheat recipe, which is purported to be 70% corn, 16% wheat, and 14% malted barley. The age is 12 years and 6 months. The distiller, of course, is Buffalo Trace, owned by the Vampires of Sazerac. Now, the MSRP that they set it at is $125.
If you can find any of their products that they say are $125,
Yeah.
this bottle,
You won't.
yeah, I mean, I'm telling you right now, run with it. It's always worth it if you can find any of these. And what happens sometimes is you get a good liquor store that runs a lottery and sells it to you at MSRP plus a couple dollars, maybe $150, and you're doing great. But other people, Scott, charge how much?
So on the secondary, according to whiskeysearcher.com, an offshoot of winesearcher.com that I use a lot, $1,940 is the average price that people are paying online. The high is $2,500. Right? On the average, per a 2-ounce pour, $155. So this is what we have in our glasses.
Honestly,
is $310.
think about that. So the price of a dram in the world is more than the MSRP of the whole bottle.
Yes.
And what's funny is no bar should be paying secondary prices. They should be paying close to MSRP. So when they charge you $100 a dram for a $125 bottle, they're screwing you.
Yeah. Right. The awards that this won, so just this year, the San Francisco World Spirits Competition, it won 2 double golds. At the Ascots, it won platinum, which is surprising because double platinum is their highest award. And the Global Whisky Challenge, where we got this from, it got 98 points when they originally tasted it in the North America region.
Right.
And it got best of class.
Right, but it didn't make the top 4. I think it was actually 5th.
It did not. Right.
And that's why we got to keep the bottle. I'm stunned by that, but that's what's great about whiskey. Everyone's got their own palate. That's why you have more than one judge, because they all work off each other.
Right. It had to be a consensus between all 4 of them.
Yeah.
And if you've listened to our Whiskey Madness, you know, sometimes Ed and I disagree.
That's right. It happens.
Yeah.
And so the nose on this is absolutely one of the best noses I've ever had on a whiskey.
That's the noise I made because I smelled it.
Oh my gosh. It's what you dream of when you go to bed at night of what a good whiskey will smell like.
Oh, I can smell like a char note almost.
Yeah.
But it's got so much cinnamon and brown sugar. Ooh,
do we know how much this is aged? Because
12 years and 6 months.
Okay, because Larue Weller was known for his advocacy of aging whiskey. And so they try to age their stuff longer than most, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'm almost getting like a lemon zest.
Interesting.
It has it's so high proof. It's so medicinal smelling after I got all that cinnamon and brown sugar and char. Underneath that, there's like a lemon zest.
I'm getting cherries. I'll say it because you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you know? Definitely a darker fruit.
The color is amazing also. Oh. It looks almost like maple syrup. Not that it smells like maple syrup.
Yeah.
Now,
it's incredibly dark.
It can be strong ethanol-wise because of the proof, but we're using our neat glasses, which are, of course, as anyone knows who follows this, they're made to diffuse the ethanol to the sides.
Right.
And I'm getting almost like Dr. Pepper almost, or like a cola type of a sweetness to it.
I can see that. Oh, it's so good. It's so rich, almost decadent. I don't know if I've ever used that word as a nosing note.
Getting like almost like a buttered bread too, like a hot buttered bread.
Yeah, the bready note.
Are you getting a little cocoa at all in this? Little chocolate, maybe? Like a chocolate covered cherry?
You know, I'm not.
It's okay
actually,
to not. It's okay to not.
I'm trying to actually look for the cherry, which is so interesting because I usually get it. Well, let's taste it. I think we did pretty good on the nose there.
Oh my God. This is so good.
Oh, wow. Okay. The cola you were smelling, I can absolutely taste it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The citrus that I was getting is there. The cinnamon. I get a light cherry. And maybe it's not cherry.
Maybe not.
It's a light, fruity quality right in the middle. Are you
getting like some type of berry or an apple? Is there apple in this?
Oh, maybe it's apple.
Like a red apple?
Maybe that's it.
Like a sugared apple? What about one of those candy apples on your plate when you get a steak?
Like the spiced apple ring? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
God, this is so good.
Man,
it's so dense.
There's a solid burn, though, now, because I took 3 sips in a row. Now the proof is catching up. I got to take some water to cool this out.
Absolutely burning.
I got carried away taking back 3 big sips in a row.
A lot of oak on the finish.
Wow.
Because I'm not getting a whole lot. The finish is long.
Yep.
But I'm not getting individual taste flavors because all I'm getting right now is ethanol and oak. But I know that that's the proof because of all the stuff that's on the palate. All of that couldn't have disappeared.
I'm getting like a fig on the finish.
Fig?
And chocolate again on the finish, by the way.
Chocolate again. All right, I'm going to look for the chocolate.
Almost like a chocolate-covered fig.
Oh, wow. You can kind of smell the fig.
I will say that the interesting thing about this is the proof doesn't ruin your tongue and the experience. I'm going to put some water in, 5 drops or so, just to see if it opens anything up. But this is delicious. One of the best whiskeys I've had this year, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The brown sugar and the cinnamon that I was getting on the nose with the water in it is now immediately there. It tastes like a cinnamon syrup.
That's significantly different with the water on it. It's opening up all new flavors to me.
I'm still getting that lemon citrusy thing on the tip of my tongue. Are you getting any of that?
I'm not getting a lot of citrus.
Yeah. It's so funny. I'm not really getting the chocolate. This is the first whiskey of the day for us.
Yeah, we haven't had anything to drink today.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that this was...
Very clean palate.
Yeah.
God, I could drink this fucking forever.
Yeah.
This is extraordinary.
This is a tremendous whiskey. One of the best I've ever had. One of the best we've had on the podcast. Now, the question is it worth $1,900? No. No, never, never, never. Never. Unless $1,900 is $125 to you. You know, I mean, if you make $700,000 a year or something and you want to keep a couple bottles around, who am I to judge? But for average America, yeah, get the Four Roses Small Batch Select.
It's funny because MSRP of this is $125, and we've tasted stuff that's not as good as this. That's MSRP above that, like $200. And you had a Hirsch for your graduation, which was a fine whiskey. It was delicious, but it wasn't better than this.
It was an 8-year-old finished in cognac barrels.
And so I'm wondering if Buffalo Trace is purposely keeping down the MSRP because they know the prices go nuts over this. Because this is worth way more, I think, than MSRP 125.
Yeah, it's a 12-year. First of all,
yeah.
It's weeded. It's got the pedigree. Why not dip in and get some of the money? Why not make it a $200 bottle? I guess they're doing it for some type of a principle because they certainly could charge $200 for this.
They could.
Because I have to tell you, I would pay $200 for this. If I could walk in the store and get this bottle for $200, I would do it any day.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because we enjoyed the old Carter for $208, and I would buy this for $225. But I won't spend $1,500 for it. I can't. I can't.
It's ridiculous.
I can't. It's just not who we are. Like, we don't do that. We don't live in that world.
Yeah. And we're very lucky to be able to taste this.
Yes.
Wow, God.
I'd definitely like to thank Christopher Davies and his lovely wife, Darcy, the owners of the Global Whisky Challenge. And what lovely people who really found a way to do a passion of theirs, you know, full time. And it's a lot of work. Don't get it twisted. They'll tell you that it's a lot of work, but
it is.
It's a labor of love in a lot of ways. And I really respect that they found a way to do that. And it makes me think about, how can I do that?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah,
it makes me wonder, like, what can I do to make that happen?
Yeah.
But overall, a really good whiskey. The only criticism I might have is that it might be a little hotter than it needs to be.
Yeah.
And once again, I expect them to tell me just put some water on it or throw it on a globe if you want to do it. Though throwing this on a globe would not be the right thing to do.
Right.
I just feel at some point it's going to get too watered down and you're going to ruin it. But adding water as you go to see what you like and where your perfect point is, you know.
It's exactly what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. So.
Right. Because we've talked about this before where it's really high and that presents you with the opportunity to do exactly that.
Yeah.
So the tasting notes for this I have from vinepair.com.
Okay.
On the nose, medicinal cherry cough drops. I said medicinal, but I didn't say cherry, and you said cherry. Vanilla extract, almond, lemon candy, cinnamon gum, allspice, nutmeg, caramel, and alcohol-soaked pears, raisins, and nectarines.
See, I said raisins, then I got off it. I said figs instead, but...
I mean, it's there.
No chocolates, though, huh?
No chocolate. On the nose. Let's see, on the palate. Dark caramel, spiced cherry, burnt sugar, dark chocolate,
nice,
vanilla swirled fudge, hot chocolate with marshmallows, cinnamon oatmeal, cooked apples, and citrus peel.
Oh, I did say apples on the palate.
I said citrus peel.
I did. No, we did good. We did really good with this.
Like the two of us together, we nailed these notes.
I feel like I want the judges to be like, good job, guys. I'm just kidding. They're not listening to us.
On the finish, long and syrupy with oak and sugary green elements.
Nice.
Reminiscent of pancakes topped with strawberry preserves.
Interesting.
I didn't taste strawberry in this, but...
I mean, I said buttered bread, so maybe that's kind of pancakey, I guess, if we really want to stretch and make me look good. But overall, a delicious whiskey.
Wow, yeah.
I mean, if it was $300, I don't know. I'd have to spend all night thinking about it.
Yeah.
Just by myself, sitting in my boxers, in a recliner, contemplating my life in the universe. Do I want to buy this for $300? Because I really might. It's that good to me.
300's a lot, but sitting here right now, tasting it and how good it is, I think I might pull the trigger.
Because then I'd be like, Scott, it's really $150. We'll just split the bottle.
But tomorrow I might be like buyer's remorse. Go, what the fuck am I doing with $300 a bottle of whiskey?
Well, especially when you find me passed out with 2/3 of a bottle empty on my chest and some pizza bites.
Oh, geez. And there's like pieces of pizza bite in the whiskey.
I was just drinking out the bottle. Why do we create that scene? I would never do that. What we do for the sake of comedy.
Oh, shit.
But anyway,
Yeah, that's it.
anybody who can get anywhere near this for MSRP.
Yeah.
Or listen, if you can find a dram of this for like $75 out in the wild and you're going to get 2 ounces for it, I think you got to try it if you never had it. It's that good.
Agreed.
All right. So good luck on your hunting out there to see if you can find it in the antique collection at all.
Yeah.
And once again, Buffalo Trace Whiskey Tangent Podcast would love to feature any of your antique collection on here.
Hit us up, bros.
Because you've never given us any love, and we've given you plenty. So for the Whiskey Tangent Podcast, I'm Ed.
I'm Scott.
Cheers, everybody.
Later.